Growing up on the streets of New York City is never easy. Each generation with its own set of trappings and fears, each neighborhood with its own list of casualties and concerns. But there's an organization that was founded 7 years ago that's offering over 2,000 young boys and girls a path off the streets and into college. The cost is commitment, discipline, and sacrifice. For some, a steep investment, but well worth the ticket to beat the streets.
Hey, keep the pressure on, kid, keep the pressure on. Attaboy, Georgie.
It helped me a lot for school. It keeps me motivated because the thing is, if you don't do good in the grades, you can't go, you can't wrestle, so that motivated me a lot, and it kept me out of trouble.
And what Beat the Streets has done for George has done for thousands of others.
Don't wrestle on your head before you get out there, all right?
It kept him on the straight and narrow, and now George is looking for his third straight city wrestling championship. But it doesn't end there.
He can win 2 state titles and 2 national titles, but if we don't put him into college, then we're not doing the right thing.
I plan to go to Rutgers University, graduate, major in law, because I want to become a police officer.
George represents the first graduating class of Beat the Streets, a program that began when George was in 6th grade, thanks to an initial donation from a former wrestler, George Stephanopoulos, back in 2002.
George sent us a check for $500, and that kicked us off. George used to wrestle for Columbia University. When we started, there were no middle school programs in the city, and there were 22 high school programs. We had approximately 200 or 300 kids wrestling in New York City in those programs. Since that time, we've managed to open up 60 middle school programs, and we've started 35 new high school programs.
60 middle school programs, 35 high school programs, and over 2,000 participants, all benefiting from the generosity of donations.
Bank Novogratz has been our primary benefactor. We have a pretty diverse board of directors. They're really focused on raising money right now. We did run a fundraiser on the deck of the Intrepid last May, where we raised about $900,000.
Don't rush. Take your time. Good shots.
New York City hasn't seen a state championship in 20 years. In this region of New York State, where most kids turn to basketball and baseball for their ticket out, wrestling is becoming a more acceptable venue for boys, and even the girls are getting into the act.
The first year we had 9 girls, but we had a tournament for them and it was great. Next year we had 30. We're up to about 70.
Mayasa Baker is a junior at Wingate High School and got into wrestling and the Beat the Streets program 2 years ago.
I have a very smart mouth. I used to talk back to my teachers a lot, but I guess now I learned to respect them more, and I hold my tongue. It's hard, but I know that I have to, so I do it.
And there is a marked improvement in behavior for all participants in the program.
We already know anecdotally that kids that participate in wrestling programs, particularly at the middle school level, their attendance is higher, their discipline problems are lower, and their grades are higher. We know that.
The mission is to take life skills and bring it to as many urban city kids as possible.
You got this. Stay tough.
Steve Flanagan is the head wrestling coach at Wingate and sees a direct improvement in his program thanks to Beat the Streets.
We've only lost 2 kids total to eligibility. 4 years ago, I would have 50%. 50% of my team would be ineligible. Now I'm down to 2 kids.
It teaches me a lot. Discipline, which is really hard because I have to be good or else I get in trouble. Determination, I take what I do on the mat and put it into real life.
And the girls' program is growing because of the successes of current wrestlers like Nyasa.
Wrestling teaches girls personal accountability, a ethic of hard work and discipline, and it gives them courage to go after what they want in a way that no other sport can.
Good job. Good job. It's a way to get the win.
When you play basketball, you can pass the ball to somebody else. When you run track, there isn't the same kind of head-on conflict that you will find in wrestling. And I think in that way, wrestling prepares girls for the rest of their lives, but ultimately, when push comes to shove, girls will find themselves in situations that are difficult, where they must make the decisions themselves, where they have to put in the hard work themselves. And wrestling is the only sport that's available that will teach them this.
Each program costs about $7,000 per season per school. Heading into the spring, the program is launching more training opportunities at colleges, universities, and Olympic training centers, all in an effort to teach life lessons and give participants the tools they'll need to beat the streets.
To have this type of backing, this type of opportunity in the sports aspect during the school year during spring programs, which we're going to start now this year. That's an immense opportunity as is. We're really, really fortunate to have Beat the Streets here and working with us and enhancing our student athlete population.
We want to make sure that they understand that their first priority is to be at home with their brothers, sisters, mom and dad if they need them. Second is academics, and if they put the effort into there and they come to wrestling practice, we'll take care of the rest. We have some of the best coaches in the country that come down to the training center all the time, and some of the best teachers and influences around.
Just keep it loose, all right? Let it all hang out. Let it fly, kid.
It's a way to keep out of trouble.
We tell the kids all the time, action's a buzzword. It's all about what you do, not what you say you do.
I wanted to be a champion or something. I wanted it. I really wanted it.
Great job. Congratulations. All right, enjoy.
And I am now.